Ciao Juventini, I'm Alberto. Welcome back to the AJC. I've got all this morning's news surfacing around Juventus. We're going to take a look at the strange ending to the Mercato, and not strange because of transfers, but strange because of the Paul Pogba news that broke out. Everybody asking, why does Paul Pogba always find himself in these rumors? I'm going to bring you the origins and tell you exactly how this one started yesterday and give you the details on it, show you the drastic difference in what goes on in media and what's actually delivered, and then you can make up your minds on what you believe. Some of it, none of it, or all of it, all right? Then we've got Max Allegri's press conference ahead of the game against Empoli, where we're going to talk Kostic, we're going to talk about Sandro and Gatti, we're going to talk about Fagioli potentially playing as regista, and a lot more, all right? So like the video, subscribe to the channel. Now let's get into it. First things first, I have to congratulate Thomas Tadeo, who is the victor, all right? Taking home the first out of 10 kits we are going to be giving away on the channel this season, all right? So big congratulations to Thomas, and for everybody else, it pays to subscribe, all right? We got 9 more kits being given away this season, and we have some great official fan club giveaways that are going to be happening as well. So again, if you're not a member of one, reach out to us. We'll put you in touch with the one nearest to you and join. There's a ton of perks, and the watch parties are fantastic. Now let's rock with Juve Next Gen. Juve Next Gen set to face Pescara today. It is also said that Houston could be joining them for that game, potentially even Yildiz, all right? Now, what's to note here is the fact that something I brought up through the Mercato when we were talking about players like Caio Jorge, who it was uncertain if Juve was going to loan out to a team or keeping him next gen. The benefit is exactly what we could see today, is that these players can be called if they're eligible for Juve Next Gen and still be called back to return for the first team and the senior squad. So players like Yildiz and Houston this season are going to get the best of both worlds. They're going to be able to go participate in games with Juve Next Gen, still train with the first team, and get cameo minutes with the first team in Serie A when the times come. So this is great scenario, and look for it to potentially happen this early with Juve Next Gen set to face Pescara. And of course, good luck to the lads in that match. All right, now Mirko Nicolino. Remember this name, okay? So we're going to start off with the reports on Dusan Vlahovic. So Mirko Nicolino reports that Dusan Vlahovic, his condition has improved tremendously, all right? During the international break, he is still set to go and get a follow-up and check through on the groin issue and whatnot. But Mirko Nicolino reports that it is a huge improvement, and in turn, his attitude has improved tremendously. And I think we're starting to see it even this early with only 2 games through the season, but he's already bagged a couple. And Max Allegri also reiterates what Mirko Nicolino is reporting on this Dusan Vlahovic report in terms of his health in his presser, and we'll get to that too. But why is that important that Max is kind of backing that up? Well, the Paul Pogba thing went wild, okay? So this is what we heard originally. It was that Paul Pogba has done his back. It is potentially career ending. We are waiting to hear if it is in fact true or where this stems from, what's going on with Paul and everything. And then an hour later, you get a report, hey, all we know is he went through training regularly. 2 hours later, you got Mirko Di Natale finally weighing in saying no new physical injuries on Paul Pogba. Well, this is where this whole thing stemmed from, and you could see the level that it escalated from. Again, remember how it was delivered. We have heard Paul Pogba has done his back. It is potentially career ending, okay? Now, to the credit of the people that were delivering it through radio and through other sources, they were saying, we're trying to find out if this is in fact real or not, or how credible this report is and whatnot. Well, it all stemmed from an article from Mirko Nicolino. So the same reporter who brought us this Vlahovic report. Is he a credible Juventus source? For the most part, I'll be quite honest, no. Not at all. However, when it comes to the status on injuries, that may be where his source is strongest, because he's actually pretty good when it comes to the injury reports and everything. Now, he is the one that started this with Paul Pogba, as he reported this. A team was interested in Paul Pogba. They wanted to run the medical through Juventus. While doing this, something that Juventus apparently knew about had come up, and that is the issues with his lower back / hip area. And this is something that cannot be remedied in this article, in this report. All right, so can't be remedied is something that he is going to have to deal with for the remainder of his career or whatnot. So again, Huge over exaggeration on the delivery and what ended up hitting other sources and whatnot, okay, from what he actually reported. So all he reported is that at some point there was a medical done on Paul Pogba and something came up that may have been known about for quite some time, that he has got this issue, lower back and hip. And they also add in that report in that article that it is common of players with the build that Paul Pogba has, and it's something that cannot be remedied. They just have to deal with. That's all he reported. And it got taken way out of proportion, okay? So, again, is this article completely unbelievable? Absolutely not. The news that broke out yesterday, yeah, it was hard to take and it was hard to believe again because he went through training, and you would think if it happened like that, it would be blown up as it would. So there you have it. This is how media can work sometimes, but that is where it all stems from. Where does Paul Pogba actually stand right now? Well, we're going to get to Max Allegri's press conference as he tells us exactly where he's kind of at right now in terms of percentage and what we can expect. All right, so Max's he starts off, of course, in true Max fashion, showing respect to Empoli and whatnot. We know that Empoli in 2 games has not scored a goal. Let's keep it rolling, but Max will always show respect to the opponents, all right? So he says expect a tough game away from home and whatnot, and Empoli looking to get some type of points after the start that they've had, all right? He says for Juve, the objective remains as it has the entire way, and that's to get back to Champions League top 4, all right? And he expects Juve to be in the top 4 mix the entire season, all right? And make a big push in the second half of the season, all right? And playing their cards right in the second half of the season. And I think he's alluding to there the fact that the other teams and European play and whatnot, and that's when they need to really capitalize. But make no mistake, we have to capitalize throughout the season, all right? Now, 86 to 90 points is what Max has labeled as required to win the Scudetto this season, okay? As far as the starting situation goes, he says he has no set starters, period. Okay, and then he starts talking about Sandro and Gatti, saying he has doubts right now and is unsure of who is going to be getting the start between those 2 players. Furthermore, he continues with Kostic. He talks about Kostic saying he has never been on the market. He says as far as the first couple games go, it was called for Cambiaso, according to Max. Those games he felt Cambiaso is what we needed. Kostic could start tomorrow, according to Max Allegri. We have to wait and see. As far as Fagioli and Miretti, there are some question marks there as to who's going to start. He was asked about Fagioli playing in the regista role. He gave Fagioli a lot of praise and says absolutely he could do it. But right now, Locatelli is doing good and he's going to continue. As far as Fagioli or Miretti starting, that is one of the question marks that's come up in the projected lineups coming into this game. I want to know who you would start between those 2. We ran a poll and it was extremely tight. So who would your pick be and why? Let me know in the comments section. Now, he continues on. Szczesny still out. Szczesny will return after the international break. Perin set to start tomorrow. Pogba is at 70% right now, okay? He might be getting to the starting lineup maybe next month, at the start of next month. But right now, 70%. It is improving. It is getting better, all right? So, again, all eyes on Paul Pogba. We'll see if he can get some minutes in Empoli before the international break, in which he has not been included in France's list, all right? Now, last, Dusan Vlahovic. Again, going back to Mirko Nicolino. Max Allegri confirms the improvement in his health is massive, okay? No longer being hindered, and he is, again, the attitude is all right. The mood has picked up, and Max says he is completely serene with Vlahovic. He said last year, despite the issues with the health, still bagging 10 to 12 goals. He says the goals are going to come for him this season as well, and he has absolutely no worries about him, and he has no worries about Federico Chiesa, all right? So there you have it. That is the recap on Max's presser. That is the news circulating around yesterday and Paul Pogba's situation and everything else. I want to know what you think, what you feel about all of it in the comment section. Let's mix it up. If you've got some early game predictions for Empoli tomorrow, hit me up with them. But do not forget, we are live tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. Eastern time, getting ready for that one. And I'm going to bring you the live watch along for that game as well. And I hope to share all the reactions with every single one of you. So make sure you join up. As always, like the video, subscribe to the channel. But we'll see you tomorrow, and it's game day. Fino alla fine, forza Juve. Ciao tutti.